Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia, and I work in the Admissions and Records Office at Central Oregon Community College. And we are here to talk about how to pay for college. So we will go over some COCC specific information, but we will go over a lot of just general college, how to pay for it information as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Lindsay. I also work in the admissions office at COCC and I will be co-presenting with Sophia today. So thank you for being here. So just to kick things off, let's just go over what is the cost difference. You know, there's a lot of options when it comes to the different types of college a student can pursue, and they all come with different price tags. So this is kind of a high level overview, starting with a community college like COCC or any other community college in the state of Oregon or outside of Oregon even. That's where you're going to find the most affordable tuition. Just from a sticker price standpoint. So for an example, at COCC, you're looking at about $4,500, between $4,000 and $5,000 for the school year for our local students, depending on the number of classes that you take. So these numbers that we're quoting and giving you a rough example of, that's based on full-time enrollment, so 12 credits for 3 terms. So then looking at a public university, if you were to take those exact same classes your first year that you were to take at a community college, you're looking at around $10,000 or so for that school year. So that is just something to keep in mind. Again, full-time, 12 credits each term. And then if you're looking at a private university, that's going to be the most expensive, again, from a sticker price standpoint. So for 1 year of those same classes, you're looking at about $50,000 for your tuition and fees at a private university. So we don't say this to scare anybody. We just say this from a realistic standpoint for you to know, what your options are and what kind of financial aid you might need to pursue. And honestly, I think it's great to think about each one of these schools as you are considering what might be the right fit for you. And that's going to look different for everybody. Those private schools that do have the really big sticker tag, they normally are able to give students a lot of financial aid to help bring that price down. If that's your dream school, we don't want to deter you from that by any means. We just want you to know the true reality of the cost of tuition these days.
And I will say, I think Lindsay said it best, like we don't ever want that sticker price to become a barrier for you or deter you if that is the school you want to go to, because there is so much aid out there. And that's exactly what we are going to talk about today. But first, we will go over the cost breakdown specifically at COCC. So in district is just Central Oregon as a whole. And so that's about 109 per credit. And then you are looking around 4,500 for the year. And exactly like Lindsay said, this is going to be over 3 terms. So fall, winter, spring, as a full-time student. So 12 credit hours. And I will mention that all of these are our sticker prices. So no aid is involved in this price either. And then out of district and border states, 153 per credit, a little over $6,000 for the year. Out of state, 318 per credit, and a little over 12,000 for the year.
And what I'll add to that too, Sophia, COCC is unique in how we do our residency, that we do local and then out of area and border states and then out of states. A lot of other schools in Oregon do simply in-state and out of state. So that's something you'll want to consider too as you're looking at schools. Are you an in-state student? Or are you an out-of-state student? Because that will change your price dramatically. So that's just something to consider. And the prices that we quoted on the previous slide, those are based on in-state status for Oregon students going to Oregon colleges. So again, that will look different if you're traveling out of state or if you're an out-of-state student coming into Oregon. So that's just something to keep in mind. So how do you pay for that, right? Like we talked about the price. What kind of funding is available to make that dream a reality and to help you pay for that and make it, really realistic for you? So there's different types of money. There's gift money, earned money, and loaned money. And we'll talk a lot more about each one. So gift money comes in the forms of scholarships and grants. So that's free money that you are not paying back that can go towards your tuition. And then earned money comes in the form of federal work study or just part or full-time work on or off campus. and then loaned money. So there's subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. So again, we'll break each of these down a little bit more.
So for gift money, like Lindsay was saying, this is free money that you do not have to pay back. It's like a gift. So starting with grants, in Oregon, we have the Pell Grant, Oregon Opportunity Grant, and these are all need-based. So if you are needing additional aid to attend school, that will help with your tuition, anything like that. So that is all need-based for you. And then scholarships is another way of getting that gift money. And there are a ton of different scholarships to choose from. So some examples are right there. So you can do academic based sports. If you're a first generation student, there are scholarships for that. If you have any leadership experience, maybe from high school, if you were in student government, that's a great way to show what type of work you've done in your school and get some money for that. And there's a lot more. I know Lindsay told me the story. She got a scholarship because she had red hair. So it could even be based on your looks. You never know. But all to say, apply to as many as you can. It does not hurt and it pays off in the long run, literally. And so OSAC is another way of getting a lot of scholarships. And it's only one application. You fill out some essay questions, and then it opens you up to this huge portal of scholarships. So that one application can help you apply for a bunch of different scholarships in that portal. And that actually just opened November 1st. And the early bird deadline is in February. So definitely be thinking about that and take a look at OSAC if you are wanting to look at those scholarships.
And I will mention that OSAC scholarship is for state of Oregon students only. So just to think about.
And now we're going to talk about some COCC specific scholarships. So we have the Merit, which is academic based. And so that is for our in-district students who are graduating high school. So high school seniors only needing a 3.0 GPA or above that can apply for that. And then we also have our foundation scholarship, which everyone can apply for, which is pretty wonderful. Our foundation scholarship is amazing. There are a ton of different donors in the Central Oregon area that donate a lot of money to sponsor a student. And so the foundation scholarship is kind of laid out like the OSAC with the essay questions, and you just submit those. The foundation scholarship opens in December and ends in July. So a pretty good chunk of time to get that done, but we do encourage all of our students coming from wherever in either the state of Oregon or border states, out of states to apply for that. And then Oregon Promise is another big one. I hope you all have heard of Oregon Promise. This is need-based. So this is a state-funded grant that you can use at any Oregon community college. And the only thing that, two things that you need to keep in mind is that it is a 2.5 GPA to keep and maintain, and you do need to begin college within the 6 months of graduating high school. So if you are wanting to take a gap year, you are more than welcome to do that, but definitely keep in mind if you are wanting to take a whole year off after you graduate high school, you will not be eligible for the Oregon Promise. So definitely keeping in mind those different requirements for those need-based money scholarships.
The other thing I want to add for Oregon Promise too, again, you have to be an Oregon resident. And I really encourage students to file or fill out the application for Oregon Promise, even if you're not sure that you're going to attend an Oregon community college. You have to file a FAFSA or an ORSA, but it is the application itself is really easy. It only takes about 10 minutes. So I would just encourage everybody to do it. I think it's worth 10 minutes of your time if you're eligible, because plans might change. Or you might be in a degree partnership program with both a community college and a university, and you might get some free money. So I think it's definitely worth putting that 10 minutes of your time into it and having it as an option if you are not even sure about the community college path for you. So then let's switch to earned money. So just as it sounds, you are working and you are earning that money. So what work study is, it's a type of funding through the federal government that You may or may not be eligible for. It's through the FAFSA. So when you file that FAFSA, you definitely want to say that, yes, you are interested in work study. And if you do end up receiving work study money, that means you can apply for a specific work study job on a college campus. And these jobs range from, like it says, the library to the bookstore to being a student ambassador or working in an office and just doing some general office duties. They're kind of all across the board. So if you are eligible for work study, definitely take advantage of that. And then next, we have just part or full-time jobs on or off campus. So if you're not eligible for work study, that's okay. You can still work on a college campus, or you can work off campus as well. We're big advocates of working on campus because it's super convenient to have everything at your fingertips where you can walk straight from your class to your job. And then also when you're working on campus, we recognize that first and foremost, you're a student and your hours are limited. And school will always be your first priority. But that being said, you can do what works best for you. So that's just money, you're earning and a paycheck every single month. So we actually recommend a lot of students do work because studies show that students that work part-time, at least 10 to 15 hours a week, actually do better academically because they're learning how to juggle their time and manage priorities. And then you're also creating your resume outside of that degree that you're earning.
Loaned money. So loans are things you have to pay back. And so starting with a subsidized loan, this is interest paid while you are in school at least half time, so 6 credits or more. And then you do get a little bit of a grace period after you either leave school or graduate with your degree. And that grace period is for 6 months. So you are all good. You kind of get some cushion under you. And then after those 6 months are over, the interest starts kicking in and you do need to start paying that loan. So right there, when those six months are up, then you pay that interest, and definitely look at different payment plans that are involved in your loan and what type of interest is going to be with that loan as well. And lastly, unsubsidized. So the difference between the two is that unsubsidized interest occurs all of the time. So you don't really get that 6-month grace period like you would with a subsidized. The interest is happening while you are in school and then out of school too.
So we encourage subsidized loans over unsubsidized loans, but usually students have access to both, or potentially they do. So some students will take out both. But I also want to mention too that, you might get some grant money, you might get some work study money, and you might get some loan options on your financial aid award. You don't have to take out all of those. You get to pick and choose which of your offer you want to accept. It's not like a lump sum that you take all of it. You can pick just the grant money, or maybe you're only offered loans and that's your only option. It looks different for every single student, but just know that you get to choose which one is right for you.
And some other options are a Parent Plus loan as well as some private loans. And so Lindsay made a really good point. Even though you are offered all of these maybe different things in your financial aid package, you don't have to accept all of them. You can kind of pick and choose what type of money you would like to use for your education, which is pretty awesome. And so that's why we wanted to let you all know of the 3 different kinds that you might be seeing when you get your package.
So now that we talked about the different types of money, like how do you even access that? What's the bridge between wanting to go to school and then getting that money? And it is either the FAFSA or the ORSA. So the FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. And you can see the website there, it's fafsa.gov. Emphasis on free. You should never have to pay to file the FAFSA. If you are not eligible for the FAFSA, then you would look at the ORSA if you are a state of Oregon student, and that's the Oregon Student Aid application. So you can see oregonstudentaid.gov. So if you are not eligible for the FAFSA, then you'd file the ORSA. You do not do both. And we encourage students to apply for the FAFSA or the ORSA as soon as possible. It opens each year, October 1st, and every year that you're in college, you will actually file that FAFSA or that ORSA. It's not a one and done. It's every single year that you are needing aid. So you can see what those websites look like, take note of those, and hopefully at this point, now that we're in November, maybe you've already filed your FAFSA or your ORSA, and that's awesome.
And if you are uncertain of maybe where you are wanting to go to school, that is okay. We know there are a lot of different options and a lot of different things to consider. And so with the FAFSA, you can list up to 10 different schools in your FAFSA. And you can also go back in and edit whenever you would like to, or delete schools if you are like, no, I'm just kind of thinking about it, but I'm not really sure yet. So definitely make a different list of different schools you are thinking about and listing your values with that. Maybe you are wanting a bigger school with bigger size classrooms and really big social events. That's great. List those on your FAFSA. Or maybe you are wanting a smaller school, saving a little bit more money, maybe at a community college, just getting those prerequisites out of the way. That's great too. And this comes around to maybe you don't know what you want to study. Starting at a community college is a great way to figure that out and saving a lot of money by exploring those options, seeing what you're interested in, taking these different classes that you find interest in. And so that's okay. On the FAFSA, just for peace of mind, you do have to pick a type of degree you are wanting to further your education in. So whether that be a certificate, associate's degree, or a bachelor's degree. But you don't really have to declare what you want to study. So that is for you to figure out. And we know that is a big decision.
Yeah, and we don't want these uncertainties to hold you back from filing the FAFSA or the ORSA. You know, even if you're not 100% sure if college is going to be the next step for you, but you're considering it, we would still encourage you to file the FAFSA. Again, the sooner you can file it, the better. There are certain pools of money that are first come, first served, and they're need based. So if you wait a long time to file, then that money might be gone. So that's why we always encourage you to apply early. So if you don't know what you want to study, again, still file. If you don't know where you want to go to school or what, you know, even if you are going to school, again, still file. It's better to prepare yourself and have a lot of different options than be scrambling at the last minute and not have the same opportunities that you would have if you would have done those things earlier. So that's why you'll hear us, you know, keep saying file early, file early. Same thing as your school. You're going to hear that from a lot of people. So, you know, as we said, the FAFSA and the ORSA, they're open now. So gather your information. You can go online and see what documents you need. And also know that when you sit down to file your FAFSA or your ORSA, you don't have to do it all in one sitting. You can start and knock out a quarter or a half of it and save it. You can log out and then you can log back in later when you get the rest of the documents that you need to finish and submit your FAFSA. So, you know, I encourage you to get going on that process. It can feel a little bit intimidating and we totally understand that, but I promise there are so many support services around you and we're here to help you. You can contact COCC's financial aid office and we're happy to help you with your FAFSA or your ORSA, or you can contact your local community college or whatever college is around you. We're here to help you. We want you to take those next steps and we don't want that FAFSA or the ORSA to be a barrier. So definitely reach out if you need any help or if you have any questions. And then also know that the awards go out in the spring. So how it works to actually get that financial aid award that we were talking about, you have to file the FAFSA or the ORSA and put the school that you're wanting to go to on it, like Sophia mentioned. So like, let's say you put COCC on there. And then you also have to apply for admissions at that school. So once you submit your admissions application at COCC, once both of those things are done, then in the spring, COCC will send you a financial aid award letter. And then based on that award letter and the offer that we are able to give you, you get to pick and choose, like, first of all, are you attending COCC? And then second, if so, which financial aid are you accepting? And that's where you get to choose what's best for you. And then, you know, it says compare awards. So that's where if you're not sure which school, you can compare the different award offers you've received. You might have one from a community college, maybe a public university, maybe a private university, or multiple schools of each. And you get to look and see which one is the best financial fit for you.
This is your action list. So ready, set, go. We encourage you to file your FAFSA or ORSA as soon as you can. And like Lindsay said, you don't have to do it all in one sitting. You can come back to it and just chip over time. But Lindsay made a great point. Those need-based grants, those go quickly because they are first come, first serve. And so we really want you all to get that grant money that you deserve to pay for your tuition or books or whatever it might be. So definitely take a look at the FAFSA or the ORSA and get some of those things done. And then start applying to schools. And Lindsay mentioned, gather your information, see what type of schools offer what you are interested in or what you might want to be a part of. Because college is, of course, getting your degree and furthering your education, but it's also to have fun and explore yourself and know who you are. And so definitely see what type of schools are out there for you as a person. And then number 3, applying for Oregon Promise. Even if you are not even thinking about a community college, we really encourage you to still apply because having Oregon Promise in your back pocket is really big, and it's an amazing grant that you can use for community college if need be. So still take a look at it, gather your information around it, and apply. And then lastly, fill out scholarships. I don't think Lindsay and I can say this enough, but apply to as many as you can. Look at the different requirements, see what is out there for you as a student, and what can you add to a scholarship that you have done? You have worked really hard in either high school or maybe in a current job you are doing now. And so we want you to get that recognition and get that money that you deserve. So with that being said, we appreciate you all so much for listening, and please reach out if you have any questions at all.